Well, good afternoon, everyone. Well, good morning here in St. Louis. But anyway, welcome aboard Flying with Mike. Yep, we're going to we're gonna see what happens. We've got another word of another fix to try here to get the 767 up and going. I'm seeing that it's been about a week or so since I've flown with Sim Air Force, and been probably a month or two since I've flown this aircraft with Sim Air Force. So we're going to taste the waters and see what happens. Real quick, we're flying the Flight Factor 767. Real quick, in the chat box for those of you here on Twitch. Here's how to get your little grubby paws on the version I have, and then go in and just do a search of the KC-46. You'll find it. This aircraft is actually more accurate to the real bird. I'm sure there's some stuff you can tell that aren't, but obviously the big thing is the boom in the back is missing. And I'll be honest, I don't know if they always fly with the wing drogues. The drogues are what the Navy used to air refuel. They stick their probe out and go into that little parachute drogue like thing behind it to get their fuel. I don't know if they fly with those routinely or if they're up and down per mission. But yeah, the boom's missing. And maybe, obviously, the cockpit won't be geared right because the boom operator is in the cockpit, not in the back. Last I've heard how they do things with this plane. I've heard some other things, but since I can't confirm it, I'm not going to say it. So, but anyway, we're on the ground where we left off last. Sadly to report, the big reason a lot of people real world fly into Savannah Hilton Head International. Well, yeah, it could be for the beach and the golf course. But there's two gravestones in the runway of runway 10, about 2,000 feet or so down the runway. They don't model that in X-Plane 12. I would love if they would. I think that would be cool. Set up a couple of fly-ins to it. But now there is payware available that will put those in there, plus a better terminal, I guess, um, and so forth. And I'll be totally honest with you. When I was in the Air National Guard so many years ago, we'll just say in the 80s, I actually, one of my first voluntary deployments with the Air National Guard, we basically went wherever the planes were. They always had either one or two or several of us supporting them. And my very first in-flight emergency, which could have been my very first crash, and I'm not being drama here, folks. An F4 hit a flock of seagulls. Sound familiar? Well, he was threatening to punch out. That would be a crash. So that's why I'm saying there's no drama here. He was threatening, but I don't know what or who or what told him to try to land it. He did a really good job. I never saw these graves. No one ever told me about them when I was there for a week or two. I forget how long we were there. Grenada lit off, just to give you an idea of the time frame. Thought we were going to go further south because we were halfway there. Hey, this is a young 18-year-old. I didn't know any different with the Air Guard. So, anyway, I know this place very small. I wasn't there a long time. I was there in support of something, RA7s. And yeah, I don't remember ever seeing or hearing the tale of these two graves. Today, there's a video out there where you can land. If you want, ground control will tell you the story and they'll sequence you out there when traffic allows. You can take pictures on the runway. It's, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. Why, if they moved the runway, what happened? But yeah, they did. I don't remember that back in the 80s. So anyway, little history about where we're at. We're not going to see them. Actually, I'm going to be more worried about 15 to 20 minutes into the flight and then 8 miles out. That's when usually it was about 15 or 10 to 15 minutes into the flight, into the climb, the sim would just close out. So we're going to test fate. We're going to do it from Savannah to Midamerica Airport. One other thing about the KC-46 and I hope I get the right letter designation on it. The KC-135 R model. I only say R because I seem to associate it with the big, I call it radius engine, big radial, even though it's not a radial piston. The big radius engines versus those tubes, they don't have reverse thrust. Go figure that one. So anyway, we'll try not to put it in reverse. It's one of those habit things. It's not disableable that I know of or anything like that. So, all right, so there you have it. The KC-46 ready to go. Let's bring Sim Toolkit in as we transfer up into the cockpit. All right, yeah, the weather looks icky. It's been icky here for several days. Actually, a couple days ago, while I was at work, someone had their phone set for alerts. I had to stop that. They were scaring the living bejeebas out of me. 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't get me wrong. I know that's what they're for. I got fed up with it because they just kept going and going and going. Why I don't have a NOAA weather radio? It never shuts up. I get it. It's not supposed to. I get it, but it needs to. And no tornado watch. I don't even think we were under a severe thunderstorm watch. Tornado warning went off for our town again. Radars, speculated tornado. And I don't know if it ever dropped one or not, but it didn't where we were. I'm like, huh, how about that? You don't get that very often here in St. Louis. So, but yeah, out of the blue, we had a tornado warning. So I know out in Oklahoma and places like that, those do happen more frequently than here. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because we've had a pretty active tornado season here. Several rounds and several tornadoes. Oddly enough, they're confirming the middle school probably a mile up the street from us, less than a mile. One touchdown, lifted up pretty quick, and then touchdown again, hit the trucking company I mentioned several weeks ago, lifted up, came down again, and oh my goodness, what it did to some farms and farm animals. The bad part of tornadoes. But yeah, how about that? Mile away from one, roughly. All right, so enough weather. Let's talk flight. Okay, we're going to have 193 folks aboard. What we're going to do is transition this payload of 40,530 pounds into cargo. Block fuel 26,100. I might just go with the 30,000. Just for simplicity, I might even add a little bit. Who knows? Maybe we could have some fun up in Mid-America. We'll see. And we're going to plan. That doesn't sound right. Hang on. That does not sound like a good. No. We're going to take off. Let's see what the winds are before we check. Oh, great. Oh. You know what? We're going to do the long taxi and take off 10. We're not, well, 7,000. We're not doing it. 7,000 feet, but we're not doing it. You guys in the airlines can do it, no trouble. This 767, I don't think so. But we're going to fly SMALZ to IRQ, to GQO, to Nashville, J45 PLESS, to the Centralia to arrival. Not sure yet. Looks like 1-4 left. We'll see. And they've graciously given us 40,000 feet, so we'll take it on a cost index of 80. So, all right. We do have center ahead of us, Memphis. We'll see if they want us to jibber jabber with them. Speaking weather, why I kind of, oh, really? 180 at 6, gusts to 15. I mean, technically, yes, 19 would be great. It's only 7,000 feet long. So instead of getting a tailwind component, which I think we would, 180, yeah, we're going to go the opposite way, and it'll still be pretty much all crosswind on us, but a little bit of a headwind. We've got a few clouds of 4,000 and 21,000 and 25,000. Beautiful day here. It's 80 degrees in Savannah. Hit the golf course. Down or up here in St. Louis at Scott Air Force Base. Winds are 210, 3 knots. Wow. 2 3/4 of a mile visibility. Marginal conditions. Haze. Few clouds at 1,600. Huh. Or 16,000, correction, and 20,000 and 22,000. So clouds aren't the cause, it's haze. This ought to be fun, kind of like last night, landing with a sandstorm. 18 degrees, it is a whopping 64 degrees up here in St. Louis. Visibility 2, and I don't get an RVR out of that. I will have to check charts. All right, let's go ahead, since it is mandatory with Sim Air Force to be on VATSIM. Let's get on VATSIM. All right, we just got to plug in data. And, all right, RVR, well, we'll go down. Oh, not 700, 75 feet. That looks good, that looks good. All right, let's do it. Oh, that does not look good. Hopefully it'll let me. Good. All right, I just wanted to get that DV out of our performance numbers. Okay, so we're reach 3118. All right, and again, we're looking at right now just Memphis catching us for center. All right, let's get going, shall we? Again, I want to thank you all for being with Flying with Mike. I'm just doing another check here. Okay. All right. So again, we're testing fate. Hopefully things will work out for our benefit. Just checking a couple of other things. Cool. All right. All right, so let's get to work. Our checklist today, we need to load the plane. So let's get the EFB up, go to ground. Now I've zeroed these two out intentionally. Let me get SimBrief up in front of me here. So I'm thinking 5 pallets, no, 4 pallets at the max. .30 divide by 9,800. 4 pallets. All right, put that in. All right, now let's work off our zero fuel weight. So 217 180 is what we want current. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How'd that happen? Hang on, something's not right here. 0. All right, something's just being a little funny here. 217,180 minus 86610. How am I getting 30? Where am I getting extra weight? Okay. All right, so there's y. Divide that by 9,800. That'll be about 3. Enter. Cargo weight now, 217,180. Subtract, oh, what is it? 211,010. 6,170 pounds of bulk weight. All right. Now, the game plan was to go out of here with 26,000 pounds of fuel. It's not going to be a lot of fuel, but I'm going to run 35,000. Okay, now we'll come up here, do maintenance. Making sure everything lines up here. Okay, maintenance has been performed. Optimize. Wow. And nothing red. Load. Okay, there's a couple of ways to know you're loaded. This will disappear. That's one way. You'll be at your fuel weight under total quantity. Right here. 35.0, remember that. And the noise you hear maybe in the background will disappear. Now, it might disappear to you right now because I'm resetting the sound level so it doesn't overcome you. By the way, if it is too loud, the airplane noise, let me know. I'll turn it down. I actually can control that now. Compliments of help from a couple of guys. Sure appreciate it. That I'm having trouble with one element, but we're not worried about it. Okay, so while we're loading, let's get to the checklist itself. Okay, so we're loading. So now we just got to make sure the parking brake is set. It is. Come up here. Battery on, standby power auto, bus ties in auto. Basically, you're clicking these. You're on the ground power, utilities, click. Now, over here on the, let me just kind of center it up. Okay, so you would click your battery, your standby, your AP or external power to on if you've selected it. If not, go up to the EFB and select it. Click your 2 bus ties, click your 2 utility buses. Now, the tricky one is here at the bottom, left gen connect, right gen connect. Click the buttons here. Do not open the guards and click inside. You will have disconnected them. You will need to do maintenance to reconnect with the engine off. I've done that once. It's not fun. Also, real quick note, I say this on any airplane with these, if they have guards, close them. That gives you a safety in if you inadvertently click here, you haven't disengaged the gen drive. close it back up and you're fine. But if you click twice, you will have disconnected it. Okay. Always say that with these airplanes, because I, like you, will do it. Oop, that's not right. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right now, this lighting on here is difficult to for me to get it the way I want. It took a long time coming out of Memphis. Y'all might have remembered that. All right, emergency lights are on, and then I'll go through and make sure my electric engine connects are on, my hydraulics, electrics are on, and the demand switches to auto. Also, I will window heats are on, and we're set to go. Then I also bring up the air system. Hawker 125. Need those emergency lights on for sure. Well, welcome in, sir. Welcome in indeed. Let's all right, welcome in. Give him proper adieu. If you're into wanting to learn drums or learn anything, check him out. He's also working on a Hawker aircraft in his hangar / garage. He has a full fuselage, and he's going to turn it into a flight sim someday. So, still waiting for the call. Half a jet. I don't know, man. I think you could make it fly if you really tried. I mean, what's the theory behind the C5? Put enough power behind a brick and it will fly. Ooh, you have the data plate. Cool. Is that going to get it flying on a flight sim? So, but anyway, hey, welcome in. Glad to have you, Hawk. Okay, we got all of that. Now, I don't hear the noise anymore. I don't, like I said, I've turned it down, so you may not either. Not because, and yeah, we're at 35. Okay. So, let's get back up here. And yeah, we're all loaded up. So we'll go to Ops, Airplane, start closing up things. And ground. We can get rid of these guys, that guy, that guy for now. By the way, you do need the LSU, the fuel truck, loader unit, staircase in order. Actually, I don't know if you need the stairs, but those LSU fuel truck loader unit are mandatory to load people, fuel into your plane. I recommend GPU and chocks. That's your call. Believe me, when you click load, if something isn't opened, it will tell you what you need to do. Okay. So with that, let's step outside real quick. And we're going to get the APU fired up. No worries. All right, we're ready to go. So for the APU, a little trick here. If you don't know which pump works the APU, show it here. Click. The one that goes off, that pump came on, and I just turn it on. And then I come down here. Oop, went one too far, sorry. Go to status. Now it's going to spool up really you can probably blink at the same rate it will spool up. Even the 300 we flew a couple days ago, it spools better, but it's still quick and the engines are really quick. So just a mindful note. Okay, so let's get back up here with it running. Click the generator, isolation valves, APU. Close the hatch. Okay, and we are now on internal power. Turn off external power. Why? Well, with this plane, it's possible you could have to reset your FMC. Oh, guess what? We haven't started that, so not a big deal, but it can be. And then we can get rid of those two pieces of equipment. All right, so speaking of which, it's time for a flight. Okay, align, align, align. You want to make sure you see those on DCs. And then when they go to nav, or I'm sorry, align, I think it says align. It takes a second. Okay, now switch them to nav. What'll happen is when this gets to 0, by the way, that's your time to alignment under IRS mode select. So you have 7 minutes. When that hits 0, it'll automatically, okay, fine, be that way, computer. It'll be in nav. And your displays will go straight to it. Okay, click FMC. And April 17 to May 15, I think we're good on the notes. And posit KSAV. GPS coordinates in route Savannah KBLV. All right, it'll be KSAV where are you? BLV @1 company route. Okay, and the reason for that, this guy here, a couple flights back with the plane, kept putting that company route here, and it'll go, yeah, why wasn't it loading? Yeah, because that guy behind the control stick there, yeah, didn't know what he was doing. No. So, all right, so activate, execute, and let's get our runway. Okay, let's bring in some toolkit or charts real quick. Real quick here, Savannah's weather as of it's an hour and 7 minutes old. Not cool, and even doing that will not change it. Well, we have to go with it. So we're going to use runway 10 instead. It's a longer runway. 19 is 7,000, 9,000 is 9,300 for runway 10. Oh, Midamerica is now IFR. No departures out of here. Okay, real quick for a departure brief. Oh, we're over there. What? Is that so? Say it isn't so. I selected the other side. I guess I am over there. Ah, okay. That'll work for me. I ain't gonna get too persnickety. All right, and then we'll head for SMALZ. Runway 10. That's all we got to do here. Let's go to legs. Check it out real quick here. All right, so SMALZ, GRQ, Nashville. Now we're on the J45, so it's lay jug, Tings. Oh, wait a minute, we're missing one. Denny and Bless. Tings, Denny, Bless, Enl. Great. And go to index, BLV, ILS we'll start with, and transition off there on the ENL2. Everything should be as it's supposed to be. Let's find out. Okay, Bless, Hovitz. Oh, we're already on it. Oh, hang on. Let me catch up. Add. All right. Okay, so Hovitz, Equal, Dutmy, up to Troy. Okay. Hetsu, Wilmot. I don't think the next one's on it. No, it's not. And Wilmot's the initial fix. Actually, the initial fix Hexu, but Wilmot is the final approach fix. The runway, then out to Dutmy and hold. Pretty simple route, huh? And that all looks good. No discontinuities or anything. The bad thing with this plane is, yes, you got to put in all the numbers. I hate to break it to you. Actually, let me get rid of charts. Okay, and now we'll get rid of charts. There we go. I'm going to bring in Sim Toolkit. Only reason I'm bringing it in is so we can do SimBrief and go to our flight plan. Okay, so here you see it. When you put it into SimBrief, this is how it kicks it out. Always up here. Now, if you want to see the flight plan, we're actually JT Hawker's asking what engines were originally on the 200. I want to say JT8s, but they might have been a version back. JT8 -7, 9, 15, and 17s. You're trying to build an airplane? You already got one in your garage. Sorry, couldn't resist. Wiki, by the way, gave me the data, but I was pretty sure JT8, but I didn't know if they had any further back because they at one time didn't have reverse thrust. And that might have been the Dash 100 that version was. All right, anyway, back to the 767. So what we're talking about here, to see the flight plan, you come down to preview brief, show details, and this is your actual flight plan that you'd have seen. Given to you by dispatch, faxed to you, whatever they do today. Anyway, so here's our fuel. Now, in this format, this is just if you go into SimBrief, you don't change, because you can change this format to American, Air Canada, Lufthansa, I think Emirates, Spirit, Southwest, United has a couple in there, Air Frog or Air France has a couple in there. So you can change it to a format the real world may or may not have used, and I don't know. I'll be honest. But this is what I call the default, or they call Lido. Nice thing about it is, okay, here's your initial information, cost index, your fuel, your wind, I'm sorry, your winds, your times, your weights, your alternate, and your fuel right up at the top. Well, if you scroll just a slight bit down, you're going to get to FMC info. I use the final reserve plus alternate number, 9370. So we'll put in 93 for our reserve. Okay, let's do that right now. 9.3. Okay, cruise altitude 400. Cost index 80. Now, let's go back to it. Actually, you guys never saw. I have to go back. Wind right here, 243 at 44. Okay, and then I'll still stick 2000. I can't ever remember the name now. It's W on the aircraft specs, and I can't, for the love of God, cannot remember that. It'll come to me 10 days from now. Jet for pizza. Oh, you got the hawker all fired up to go get pizza. That's awesome, dude. Enjoy. I don't know if they got parking spots big enough, though, for that hawker of yours. Anyway, we'll click there, get rid of Sim Toolkit. Now, I always go to the next page. Runway. Oh, wait. Yeah, we do need Sim Toolkits. Stand by. Bringing it back. Get back here. We can close this off. Now, we're at a point where you, as the captain, get to decide the shortcut or the long way. The long way will provide you a map of your runway and where your V1 rotate and V2 is on it. However, you got to put in all the data. Let me show you. You got to fill all of this back in, which means you got to get your takeoff weight. Now, in my case, I have a second screen, so I can go to it and pull it in real quick. However, the numbers generated here are no different than the numbers generated here. And look, all of it's filled in. The only thing we got to change is our runway. And calculate. Okay, now there'll be a little difference here. The speeds will be increased from what we'll see. But overall, what you see here is what we'll be entering. Oh, the other thing the performance tab here will give you is the grade of the runway if you're into using page 2 like I do. All right. However, you can get that right here from Sim Toolkit. All you got to do is right under load sheet, full flight log and routing. Here's Savannah, everything about it minus the runway wind. And right now we're minus, which is down 0.2. I'm going to round up. So down 0.2. Okay, slash. Oh no, there is no need for a slash here. Okay, we need the runway wind now. Okay, runway wind 170 at 6. Diagonal 6. And according to Sim Toolkit, it's 28 degrees outside. Let's just pop up. Let's go with it because it might update. All right, we'll get rid of Sim Toolkit now. And get back to page 1. All right, so oh, things changed. Hang on, why'd they change? Oh, I know why. There we go. Runway needed to be changed. Oh, let me double check. 242,389. Okay, that's correct. Sometimes the takeoff weight's really high. That's why I double check. All right, now let's calculate. All right, so hang on a second. My wife was standing there. I'm like, uh-oh, what'd I do wrong? Okay, so flaps. Well, let's just work up. Thrust is going to be TO2 54. 54 diagonal DTO2. Okay, flaps 5. Let's go ahead and see what the reference was. So it actually isn't very far off what we're doing. So, matter of fact, I'm going to go with V2. All right, so it's a 130 for V1. Rotate at 133. And I said I'm going to go with that one. And pre-flight's complete. We're ready to go. I hope you all are. That was fun. And now we get to see the rubber hit the road and see if this thing's fixed. Hopefully. Hopefully. All right, so now we're going to move up to the middle panel. Actually, let's go over here. And we're going to get the altimeter. $30.08. You have to set this one if you want. I do, just so they're good. Now, the one on the other side is not set correctly. As you can see, it's still 2992. The upper right set screw here on the altimeter will set that for you. Pretty cool deal, I think. Okay, get those set. Now, minimums. I'm just going to leave it here at 200, even though technically it's supposed to be 400, but for our approach, it will be 200, so we'll leave it. And then we'll begin plugging in our data up here. Okay, 137 plus 10. Runway heading 97. And 40,000 feet, unless ATC is up and tells us otherwise. I don't think this airplane would normally fly up that high. because, oh, you mean dog behind me. Growl, growl, growl. Now, why are you under a desk? All right, so everything is now set and in place here. Flight directors are on. Technically, this comes in on this checklist after start, ready for taxi. So we've got our minimum set. We've got our APU running. The cool thing about this checklist in particular, there's another one I have. It actually tells you start your ACARS. Okay, hang on. I'm getting locked into the ACARS system. Oh, wrong one. And now with Smart Cars 3, which is what Sim Air Force runs under, if there is a flight out there at your destination, it will start it immediately. Okay. Oh, why is that one still on? I thought I turned it off. Okay, there we go. We're not flying from Mac Air today, just so you all know. All right, so I think we're ready to go. Let me just do a quick check. And yeah, we still have Memphis to, boy, they got a lot of traffic too right now. Wow. All right, so let's get this bird ready to fly, shall we? Okay, here we go. Let's get outside, see what we need to finish up. All the passengers are aboard. All aboard. Oh, wrong mode of transport. All right, chocks are away. Let's crank them. First thing first, let's get our CTAF.CTAF KSAV 25975. All right. As I expected and forgot, we need to check our radios. Okay, we can now transmit. And receive. if you don't have this lit and these two lit and turned all the way up, you will not be able to talk to or transmit to ATC. Okay, and our ILS radio is on. We're ready to start them. Okay, first pack's off. APU bleeds on, APU gen's on, everything's set, ready to go. At 20, click fuel to run. Like I said, it spools up really quick. We had for a while there, hey, Matt, welcome in. Do I have, no, I do not have the 767-400. However, I am about to we're going to find out in flight if what I was told if flight factor works. We'll see. If not, well, this flight will be for naught. We'll see. So I'm wholeheartedly hoping we make it all the way to Midamerica. All right. Up here. See what I mean? How it spools quickly? I do not remember these aircraft spooling up that fast. Heck, even the 737 took good 30 seconds to a minute just to get, to a point where you heard the fuel come on. All right, now those flashes you keep seeing, no, that's not a problem. That is, it's switching to the generators automatically. In essence, real quick, it's what these lower gen connects do. When it automatically senses the engine at a certain point, it transfers to that device. Likewise, the left. Okay, engines are spooled up. Okay, so tow bar left and right. Let's get up here again. Left engine, right engine. This kind of cracks me up because when you're on the ground with the engines off, guess what? They're off. But I guess it's a safety feature. I get it. We'll leave the yaw dampers off. Oh, yeah, let's do this. Should have turned those on first. Anti-ice left and right engine bleeds on, packs on, APU bleed off, APU off, gen off. It'll show off until it spools down. Okay, everything. Okay, auto brakes, reject. Left and right are in auto and auto. Flight directors on. State trim, we're looking to be at 4. Thereabouts, okay. Flaps to 5. And finally, everything's set. Terrain radar. Well, the radars won't work, so it's not even worth using. And let's do an elevator check, and we'll explain that here in a minute. It's kind of like, well, FJS had you remove the TCAS folders. Flight Factor's kind of similarly going through the same thing. You remove the TGDS folder from your plugins and all is supposed to be well. Well, we're going to find out 10 to 15 minutes into flight. All right, we're ready to taxi. Something's not right. What's not right down here? Oh, I know what's not right. You gotta connect the VATSIM for VATSIM to work. Oh boy. Yeah, guy behind the control stick might really need a new job. Seven 717. Okay. Set your numbers in the back first. Be careful with the 7 7s. All right. There we go. We're set there. Oh, I don't even show Memphis. Are they on? Memphis went off. Oh, okay. Savannah traffic, Sim Air Force, reach 18, taxi to runway 10. All right, off we go to runway 10. I actually intended to park over in that area. By the way, right about here is, or somewhere right in here was the firehouse because we staged right here in the middle for everything. Of course, one truck to the end of the runway, but yeah. And then the terminal, you can kind of see it. When I was there, and I'm pretty sure they may still, the Gulf Streams were made here. Looks like now the firehouse could be over here. Don't know though. Haven't been, like I said, well over a long time ago. But yeah, Gulf Streams were made here. Don't know if they still do or not, but yeah. Of course, other facilities would, in many cases, outfit the interiors to the customer's liking. All right, crossing 1 and 19. I'm pretty sure we might have been able to take off, but you know what? I like this better. I'm going to die laughing if we see it this time. We didn't see it coming in with the Zebo. Again, what are we talking about? At about the 2,000 foot mark from the threshold down the runway are two gravestones that are in the runway. Yeah, it's kind of creepy, but family at one time owned the land here, and their cemetery was there. Yeah, can you say poltergeist? If you haven't seen the movie, you ought to see it. Can you say the movie Poltergeist? So, but yeah, they would have been, I think, at this next intersection on runway 10, somewhere in that vicinity. At first, I thought they were there. But on second glance, no, they weren't. But yeah, they were like right in this vicinity. And they're just two cement off-colored from the runway slabs as the size of a grave. Like I said, very creepy. But they can tell you the whole story here. Like I said in the beginning, I was there in the 80s. I never heard of this. So anyway, neat stories, neat things you learn. Wishing Flight Sim did those things. All right. Now, Savannah traffic reach 3118, heavy departing runway 10. Okay, final checks. Speed brakes off, runway, good, landing, okay, lights. Auto throttle on. And again, we cannot run the weather radar, or you could, you just won't see anything. But hopefully we have a good flight here, and I hope we've had a good time if it doesn't work. And if that case, then it sits in the corral until a update comes out. Clear for takeoff. Transponder. IFF on. All right, let's Toga. $80 knots. Rotate. All right, we're airborne and okay, everything's looking good. Let's start the time. Missed the timer over there. That's okay. So we are got the timer running. We're about 2 minutes behind. So about if we get past 20 minutes, we're doing pretty good. So anyway, we're airborne. See if we can't do something about this and get them balanced out better. All right, there we go as we head on. All right, so again, mission failed. Hello, sir. Welcome, or ma'am. Welcome aboard. Oh, and you got the AP to work. Awesome. Awesome indeed. Well, hey, Mr. Godspeed. Welcome in. Oh, let me get you on with the stream. There we go.
Oh, you streaming?
Oh yeah, we're about to see if this fix from Flight Factor works or doesn't work. But I have to wait now till at least 8 miles on final. Oh, I didn't think. Okay, good. All right, I just wanted to make sure that was back enabled. So, but yeah, if we get past 10 to 15 minutes in this flight, I will once again say the fix that the Flight Factor forums had. And I don't know if it's for all the aircraft or just the 757, 767. So you're planning a full flight, but don't know where to go from and to.
Who said that?
Mission failed.
Mission failed.
Let's see, where could we have you? What would be a good flight? How long of a flight, mission failed, are you wanting to fly?
None.
I have one in my mind. I just want to see what he's looking at.
Are you talking to me or you're streaming?
Do what?
I said, are you talking to me or you're streaming?
Both. You're on.
Nah, I need to fly somewhere, but
Oh, two flights to come up with.
I still haven't heard from FedEx yet.
Still haven't. I don't know what's going on down there.
So I pretty much just canceled them.
Yeah, if they're not going to reply, I'm not going to hit them with upside the head because they won't listen to me anyway.
I mean, because I'm in pretty much like 3 virtual airlines right now, anyways.
Hey, you got to get past 5. That's what I'm in.
I got past 5.
I got to keep up with 5. Albeit American and Piedmont, you know, they're the 45-dayers. But still, you got to keep up with them.
You're still going to be devoted to them now, even though you got a job, right?
Yeah, I'm going to keep flying. I mean, I'm flying right now. Piedmont can get dicey only because it's mostly historical, and getting 727 flights out of them is like pulling teeth anymore. They gave it all to other aircraft, and it's like, come on. Now you have a 727 in your, oh my God, simulator, and you've still taken them away.
You know what the sad thing is? You're at 60% volume and you're still loud.
60% volume where? On
On
your
my
end?
end. Yeah.
Good. The world needs to hear me. So, I haven't heard back from Mission Failed what he was planning. Oh, wait a minute. Where's my timer? Approaching the infamous 10-minute mark. Real world weather is on.
I like to do a flight from Key West to St. Martin.
So what's holding you back?
Setting up the flight.
Sounds like a good run to me.
Nav graph and update X-plane.
Well, if you got...
Oh,
you haven't updated to beta 4 yet?
I don't know if I have or not.
Well, when you fire up, you'll know immediately. Or pretty quick, because it's going to, hey, you want to update? That looks kind of interesting ahead of us. Let me see. I think it's that one. Nice. Looks like an island out here. Big circle.
No, I guess I did. It says 12.2 beta 4.
Good deal. I'm going to say I'm a little disappointed. I think the clouds aren't as... I don't know the word,
realistic.
but I think they're not like they were in beta 3, 2, or the first one, 1. So
realistic.
Yeah, the look we had seems to be wavering again. Well, I'm higher than before, so that's good.
Unlock the full version of X-plane. Oh, I gotta do the identity login thing.
Oh, I know what I wanted to look at. Oh yeah, those storms kind of died off coming up towards us. Still a lot of rain. Oh, and it is raining. Surprise! So we'll get to shoot some instrument flying here. All right, I think we're at 10 minutes, so we're doing good. We're about to level. Well, no, we're not. We still got 6,000 feet to go. But I think we've gotten further than we have in the past, other than what we did to St. Louis, where it got to 8 miles out. And then, doink. That was sad. Yeah, I haven't seen Mission Failed come back with us. Let me just double check. I know one place I need to get to again is Skathos over in Greece.
Skathos?
Oh, it's the St. Martin of Greece. You know, where you fly over the beach to land.
Oh, nice.
It's the same. Little shorter runway, too. But I need to talk to someone. I'd like to talk to them physically, not by text, at X-Plane about this new brake system. and how that works. Got a couple of flights I want to fly out. And there's an update for one, but I need to talk to someone at PLESS too. This new update they have out, I think incorporates that, and I'm curious what to expect. I don't want to go through the days of the A330 just rolling backwards. Brakes set, everything's set. I even think I threw an anchor out and it still rolled backwards. All right, we're reaching cruise, which we rarely did in the past. So I think Mr. Turtle has a good fix so far.
Can you send me that link where you got that from?
Are you on the Flight Factor Discord?
No.
Will they let me?
Is that Flight Factor official?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I am.
You do have it?
Yeah.
All right, so if you come down to the community support, 75767 support.
Okay.
And then when you open that, kind of scroll down looking for X-plane closing. I forget how far down and who knows what's happened in between now and then. But anyway, scroll all the way down. You'll see Turtle's response. And I like the guy that posted after me. His handle, Steve. The names people come up with. Did you find it?
I'm still scrolling through all these.
But it's titled X-plane closing. And that I don't know how to get you right on. Well, let's try something. I'm going to try and send you the link. I don't know if it'll... Oop, not bad attitude. We need... There, paste. Let's see if that'll get you where you need to. Looks like it. Never done that before, so. All right, so we continue on, ladies and gentlemen. We are, I don't even know how far out we are. Let's find out. Okay, Sim Toolkit says 1 hour, 2 minutes. Perfect for the timing that I have available today. Okay. Get these crews. Let me see if that is even doing anything. Kinda, maybe, sort of. I don't know. I just think we've lost a little bit of the characteristics to the clouds again. Very well may be just the way they are out here today. I've been, I'll complain to you all here on channel, and then if I ever get into a plane and get up there, they're all of a sudden the clouds I complained about are right out my window. And I'm like, dang it. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for in the clouds, but I guess for default, I can't complain. I just felt like they looked better prior to, and I think too many people are trying to make it suggest things that would make it less than it could be, so they could promote something else. I've seen that in a couple of other posts at X-Plane.
So I'm lost. For people just like reinstall, like deleting it and reinstalling it?
What do you mean? Deleting the
Like,
actual files and reloading it?
yeah.
No. What they're saying at the very end is there is a folder in your plugin. I need to look at it. Hang on. Well, dang it. Why didn't it take? I was taking a screenshot here. There it is. If we go to X-Plane, your aircraft, to your Boeing 767 file. Yeah, in plugins,
Okay.
there was I no longer have it, a folder that would say TGDS.
Hold on. Let me get there. TGD or TGDS.
Correct. And they're just deleting it. What I did is I pulled it out, stuck it somewhere on my computer. If it crashed, guess what? It's going to put it back in and just corral the plane and not fly it. But if it flew, oh, good fix, and then I'll delete it.
So where's the 757 at?
That's what they're deleting. By the way, did that link get to you and you were able to scroll all the way to the bottom?
But another thing too is in here.
The Lua jet?
Andreas Guts, right underneath where it says, I guess at Turtle, that's a dude's handle. It said something about the A320 like have experiencing the same issue.
Yeah, so I don't know if
And
this
if
is
this
in,
is a fix for that too.
I don't know if this folder is in all of them. I haven't flown the A320 in many days. It's just, it's hard to look at that panel and fly it knowing that it's not being addressed, the textures.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, I don't even think it would even apply because I don't even fly the flight factors A220. I just do the Toluses.
I right
That's not
now
by
just
flight
don't.
factor, is
I
it?
occasionally will take it out. Um, but flyability, yeah, it flies. I just, to me, I don't like looking at a panel that it just doesn't look like it did in X-Plane 11. And that's, I think, what gets me the most. And I don't think they listen. And, or they have a different mindset on it. So, I don't know. I'm not there, so I obviously can't speak for them. And I don't really want to speak too ill because their mind is really totally, let's be honest, focused on one thing: sevens. Not this seven. The aircraft with all sevens, 777. That's really
The
been
triple
their
seven.
main focus for for over a year. And they have just let their whole fleet really go by the wayside. Um, I get it, they're volunteers and all of that, but you know, I don't know how you can be a company and do that. Oh, I guess I do. I just watched it on the news in another arena. So I'm just I've been very disappointed. I felt like we're flying for Captain Sim of the Microsoft world, and
I
I
didn't think
really,
it was that bad.
huh?
I didn't think it was that bad.
There were things Captain Sim wouldn't fix.
Captain, Captain Sim's really bad.
Yeah.
Like
Well, Flight Factor is very, very, very slow to update, and they'll say, "Well, we don't update betas." Your products are betas.
didn't he just do that 737 Max or whatever?
737 Max is by a different company.
No, I thought Captain Sim did that.
Oh, I don't follow that anymore, so I've just remembered that it wasn't that great of an aircraft. Now, there are things Captain Sim did that were phenomenal, but overall the aircraft were not all that great in in performance. In if you go to an air show and go up into the cockpits were close, but not anywhere. I mean, all you had to do is snap a picture in there and you could have had a better cockpit. But there were some things Captain Sim did, and I've mentioned them with the versus rotate with the MD-11 that I wish, you know, but hey, I don't run these companies. I don't, but they're here at Flight Factor inability to update aircraft until release client. We just had one for over a month, and all they updated were the 777s.
I just got an update for the this may be like an update you already have for the 747 Classic.
For the which one?
The 747 Classic.
Um, from Felis?
It's one of the 747s. I don't know.
Well,
I know you
that's
have it.
one I've been holding off on. The Felis update I've been holding up on only because in their notes from 7.6, X-Plane 12 added new axis for both brakes. I'm not certain what that's going to do to me. So I've kind of held off. Now they have another update out.
No, I think that's what Zebo and Level Up are doing. They're waiting until like 12.2 is like officially released, and then they're going to
Well,
update the plane.
Zebo has been, they have updated to 4.0 last month, the end of last month. But yeah, they seem to be pretty slow. So either they're in the place they want to be or they're focusing on something else.
That radar thing's the weather radar is supposed to kick in soon, isn't it? I think that's what they're waiting
I
on.
keep hearing about it, but that's about all I get is I hear about the weather radar. All right, and for those tuning in, by the way, this is Flying with Mike. We're flying from Savannah to Scott Air Force Base in the Flight Factor 767. Now, there is a fix out that I put a post in the Flight Factor official Discord forums, and they came back and said to remove from the plugins folder the TG Tango Golf Delta Sierra TGDS folder, and that will cure it. They're working on a fix, and their speed, if we all remember, is soon is who knows when. So, and I don't mean to be mean against them, but this airplane never gave me troubles until lately, and it kind of irks me that whatever they did. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It just kind of irks me. I could go through any update with it and it would have been fine, but not this one. And this has been on for about two to 3 months. So, but anyway, I hope you enjoy. We're in the KC46 livery. Earlier, we had another individual on. It might have been before we went fully live. One thing I wish we could do with this KC46 is get the boom on the back. Through that individual, I found out there is a transfer feature in X-Plane to, lowering the sending aircraft, raising the receiving aircraft. How that works, I don't know. How you put a boom on the back end of this thing, I don't know. But it would be nice, but let's get Flight Factor back up and running like it should before I even think of attempting that. But it would be pretty cool to actually be able to tank again. The last time I was able to actually hook up to a plane, and that was the other dicey thing. It was on VATSIM with Sim Air Force with another program. With VATSIM, the aircraft were like a mile apart when they were in formations. Even though you're looking at it right there, the other guy saw you about a mile away. This other program, and it wasn't FS Host, it was something else. FS, I can't remember. You could then be in formation, flying pretty decently, and when you drop the boom, come in and hook up. It was pretty cool. FSX I was doing it with, and I think a Century of Flight. So, shame no longer. Now we're getting a reflection off the clouds. So, but anyway, that's my dream list is for that. But I wish I knew how to do some of this stuff to make it happen. Of course, the other thing you'd have to work on is the cockpit itself. The boom operator on the KC is right there. It's not back where the boom is. Kind of spooky for me. But yeah, he's in the back there and runs the boom. So, but then again, I had a friend that rode in the boom, KC-135, flying in an air show here. He rode in the boom. It's like a 15-minute flight they did. And when they rotated for takeoff, he said that scared the crap out of him. How that tail was coming down. Oh, he said that was not a cool feeling.
That's changed.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Let's take a look. Oh, we're
I'll be right back.
okay. So that's a little bit about X-Plane and some of, some of those things, that go on here. Like I said, if I knew how to put that boom on and make it work, and of course, as the other individual said, work through any drag issues and all, that would be the trick. Got to get, there would be a little drag involved. All of that good stuff the Air Force overcomes. But the other would be both pilots being able to operate in turbulence and understand the word breakaway and all of that. Hence, why if you're going to be doing those kind of operations, you have to be with a virtual special ops group and learn those techniques. And that's what Sim Air Force is. Allows us to do formations, air refueling, air combat in the restricted areas, escorts and ground missions. The bombers can go in, do what the bombers do, and cargo planes can drop cargo drops or come in, do a LAPS drop. And controllers know that by our call signs. I did not put it in for this flight, and I totally forgot about it. But we're not anticipating any air refueling, so. We are anticipating storms, and I see one up ahead. So, those tuning in right now or listening to me on YouTube, if you haven't heard it yet, what we've did with Flight Factor. It's kind of like if you have the FJS 727. The ways around the crash to desktop there was to get rid of the XTCAS folder. Well, for the 767, it's kind of similar. And that's what's really sad here. You go into your aircraft folder for the 767. Look for the plugins folder. Open the plugins folder, look for Tango Golf Delta Sierra, TGDS. Remove that folder. Delete it, remove it, whatever. Fire up X-Plane, fire up whatever 767 you want to fly. Now, rumor has it, check the rest of your fleet, and they should work. I don't like fixes like this, but it's the way they do it. So they can stay focused on the cream of the crop instead of what was already their best products. And it should. We have been in flight now 37 minutes. Add about 5 minutes to that because I didn't get the timer right away. So we're doing pretty good. Now, we flew a flight last week. I can't remember. Anyway, from Dallas to Memphis, we had to turn the weather off. There was a fix out there for another way to do this. It didn't work, by the way. And it was to go, then we went from Memphis to St. Louis. Super short flight. I think it was like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. 8 miles from touchdown. It did what it's doing. So I'm not going to sit here and declare this fix a success until we shut it down and call it a day. And at least another time. So I'm just that way. But that's what we did. And again, if you catch this on YouTube, I'll try to remember to put this fix in if it works when we get to Midamerica. Okay, so we're starting to see clouds again. I don't know. I know the toughest ones to work on are the cumulonimbus. I'm just kind of, I've never really been in a flight where they were really prevalent for me to kind of, oh my goodness, look at, you know, other than the prevailing images you would see um, drawn on a TV screen. All right, we should be direct Nashville. And we're about 88 miles out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, start setting up for the arrival. Basically, Eichel at 7,000 feet. So that's 33 times 3 by, I think, 99. So we'll call it about 105 miles from there. So that's 510. All right, so about 10 miles off of La Jug, we'll begin our descent. So we got a little ways to go. And then we'll set up our radios for the ILS 14 and bring this thing in.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Anything excited happened when I?
No, I'm just looking over Facebook. Nothing exciting there. All right, we'll charge that soon. But we're getting to those storms around where I live.
And they look like ice cubes now.
I really just wish I could figure out words to explain why the clouds look great, but yet they still have room for change. But I can't put into words what I would tell them. If that makes sense. All right, we're just under 40 miles from Nashville. All right, let's get a quick METAR update where we're headed. Okay, 130 at 10. Yeah, at least we're VFR, so that's cool. Scattered clouds at 1,400 feet, so 10-mile visibility and light drizzle. All right, well, see what we can do with that. All right, top of descent, 124 miles.
I wonder how many pilots actually encountered a tornado when they were flying.
Encounter a tornado? Not.
Yeah, like seen it, like actually, like while they're flying.
Don't know. Curious if the Southwest pilots saw it departing Lambert. Probably not, because they're focused on takeoff and climb. Unless controllers, were interceding and he said, why don't I just go?
Man, I gotta work tomorrow.
Hey,
This
so do
Saturday, I
I.
gotta work. Graduation, man.
Thank you. Kinda, sorta.
Gonna be like, I think they said like 5,000 to 8,000 people there.
Ooh, that does not sound like fun. All right, we're about 30 minutes out. We got another big line of storms ahead of us. And now we're getting close to top of descent, I think. About 50 miles.
So basically, with this update or this hot fix, that you can't see anything on the weather radar.
Correct. Or terrain radar. So, which is kind of a bummer, but, hey, if it gets the plane to at least work for now, great, but I wish they could see it from our point of view. And one of the many reasons I don't want to get into flight sim or any kind of development with them, uh, because of this tunnel vision that I a lot of times attribute it to. Tunneled on one instead of the fleet.
I heard FXX is getting a remaster. I don't know if that's true or
They're
not, but
gonna
that's
do
just what I
what?
heard. They're remastering it.
Huh. I wonder why. Are the
Probably
new
because
ones
it's
that
really
bad?
popular with flight sim. Probably because it's really popular flight sim.
Well, it was, but it just you had to have a computer to run it. A really high-end computer is what I not real high-end, but it had you couldn't just run any computer on it. Plus the 32 64-bit thing came into play with it. But to me, of all the Microsoft simulators, once my computer was up to speed with it, it was hands down the best. Scenery may not be great, but it was really good sim. The only sad thing is didn't get the chance now to enjoy the nav graph updates to the internal navigation stuff so that ILSs and all of that updated every month.
Yeah.
You had to wait for something like this to come along to get that. All right, here we go. I wish I could see them, but oh well.
Going through the blue screen of death again.
Who is?
I said you might be here pretty soon.
Yeah, Flight Vector's going to go knock him out of the sky.
I wish they were able to do something inside of the clouds that make it look more realistic.
That part I've only flown maybe one or two real flights on airlines in bad weather. Most of the time whenever I fly, it's pretty decent weather. Now we've had a one flight coming back from Orlando was really bumpy, but it wasn't storm related. It was just the way it was.
It looks like you're about ready to run into a mountain.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I should be gonna say I better pay attention. Top of descent's coming up.
A young VATSIM.
I sure am. Reach 3118.
And they haven't talked to you yet?
Is there somebody up? I keep checking.
Oh. I muted you on the stream.
I see how you are.
Well, I just don't like hearing you twice, that's all.
Oh, man. That's the best in stereo. Not that kind of stereo. I get it. All right. We're set for 7,000.
So I did yesterday. I came home from work, right? And I decided to play some American Truck Simulator. And I only did I think only one route, and I was just like, how was I like devoted to this game for 4 years straight nonstop? Like just doing this, like And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing practically the same thing but with airplanes.
Yes, sir. Except the difference is we're real time. If you real time American Truck Simulator, you wouldn't enjoy it. If you took the
I
amount
mean,
of
I really
time
did enjoy it.
if you took the amount of time it actually went to go from, say, Dayton to Pittsburgh, then turn around and go to Shenandoah, Virginia, and then over to New York City. Oh, you would not enjoy that real time.
Well, that sucks.
I mean,
But
that's the reason why I'm not a truck driver in real life, man, because I want to enjoy that.
but on here on the flight sim, you can do that.
Yeah, if it doesn't crash the desktop halfway through your flight.
And then you get a Duluth to go. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yes, you did. But I didn't.
Welcome aboard, sir.
Hello. Yeah, I was doing a flight from Saint. What was it? Not Saint. Salt Lake City to um, Minneapolis, and I didn't quite make it. Crashed the desktop. So
It crashed the desktop.
yeah, I did. Did no warning, no nothing. Just boom, gone.
I've had that's what's been going on with Flight Factor, and we're tempting fate here with one of their fixes and seeing if it works. Or will it do the same thing 8 miles out?
Right.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I know that sucks.
Well, you know what comes with the territory when you get a sim that's not really new out of the box, but I mean, yeah. Oh, Sim Air Force? Cool.
Oh yeah, we're flying for Sim Air Force.
Nice. What bird are you flying? Oh, 767-200?
Yep, we're, like I said, testing fate. Here, it's not the sim that's the problem. It's the company that's the problem. That's
The company? What's wrong with the Sim Air Force?
no Flight Factor.
Oh.
So, hopefully,
Uh-oh.
hopefully, we'll get a true fix one day. At least it's better than FJS. They acknowledge there's a problem, or FJS
Oh,
didn't.
so they know it is then?
Well, they tell you what to do, but there's no actual update or fix in that direction
Oh, okay.
yet. But again, when you use the word soon, who knows when that'll be.
Right.
We could be in X-Plane 200 by then.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If they decide to still make them.
Yeah. That was a good ride. If I can get it in and on the ground, then great. If not, it was a good ride. I don't know how much more I'll put into Flight Factor. There's a Amazon truck next door. Our ferocious dog is grumbling.
Pick 'em, Winston. Pick 'em.
Hey, get out from under the desk.
He's cool.
I still love that one commercial for Simply Safe, I think it is, where the dog is trying to figure out why he's being replaced by this Simply Safe thing. And then somebody opens the door or breaks in and he hides under the table. And it looks just like our dog. Different breed, but I mean, they're almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
And they no longer show
Good.
that dog. It's a Rottweiler now.
So you guys might be able to answer this question. What is the difference between a 738 and a 737 or 737 Max?
Ooh.
No idea. Other than the fact Max is, the door falls off.
Oh.
Okay, so that's the only difference.
Now, I'm pretty sure.
Like in flight, like what's the difference?
Oh, that I don't know. I've actually never ridden on one. Up in the cockpit, there are differences with the way the panels are and all. It's more glassish than you're used to with the 800. Beyond that,
It
I
still flies the same.
it supposedly there's a system on it which is what was controversial that the first two crashes occurred off of. They have something with their angle of attack that works some weird way. Properly trained, you know how to get yourself out of a problem that could have occurred, but who knows? But overall, that's all I know about it. That the door's not staying on.
I think there were a couple of windows that came out too, weren't there?
I Who knows? Shouldn't have, but I guess when the door goes, it's possible.
I think it was like on an Alaskan one or something.
But I forget the name of the company working on it, but I haven't seen any updates in quite a while. So don't know where they are.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're mad at me because I said like, what's the difference between like flight wise? What's the difference between like a 738 and a 737 Max 8?
The other would be the engines. They've got that newer next gen technology. They're a little bigger, which always cracks me up. You make something bigger and try to tell me it's more fuel efficient. To me, you make something bigger, it takes more fuel to do what it does. But I know I'm wrong. But
But
yeah,
I'm just I what I was really trying to get at is why would someone purchase a seven or a Max when the Zuba is free?
that I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, and the pretty much in my guess is the flight dynamics are still the same, or the flight physics are still the same.
I would think they are, but I really don't know.
And we already got a lot of 737s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot.
There are a lot of other aircraft that could be looked at, but I just don't know the real down and dirty difference.
I mean, I'd love to see it. In my personal opinion, I'd love to see the 737-300 updated. I'd love to see that plane updated.
The classic.
Yeah. That's another one of my favorite planes. I think there's still something wrong with the F. I think it's still flyable,
Boys,
but
I'll
I
be
think
back. I
there's
gotta go
something wrong.
talk to somebody real quick.
Okay.
All right, man, take it
I'll be
easy.
back. All right.
But I think there's still something wrong with the FMC or the FMS, whatever you want to call it. Some people, I don't even know what the proper word for it. Some people call it FMS, some people call it FMC.
Yeah, flight management systems, I don't even know what the C stands for. Computer is all I come up with, but oh, we're going to go into a thunderstorm.
Oh, yay.
I can't see how bad it is.
Did you ever turn back on that that stuff, or did you just keep it off? The things that they've been trying to do.
What, flight factor?
No, the that X plane we're trying the views and stuff, or
N-
maybe the shake of the plane,
No
the
idea. I
G
haven't
force
looked
or
at any of
something.
that.
Yeah, the G forces when you like move the plane right, like it jerks you.
Oh, some of that, yeah, like the epoxy and all. Yeah, I've turned that off.
It just doesn't feel realistic. It feels like it's turning too much, or shaking the plane too much, or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I'm hearing thunder.
That's just your engine's on fire. Nah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's raining.
Yeah, people are complaining about the way it rains. So that's something I put in. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they can do to fix the hyperspace look.
Isn't that what it looks like in real life?
Couldn't tell you. I wasn't allowed to fly in clouds.
I'm pretty sure that's seriously what it looks like in real life from a cockpit's view or a pilot's
I'll
view.
tell you this much.
I've actually seen it.
I think it looks like that out the window. All right, how we doing?
That actually looks pretty cool.
It does. I will say that much. It does. In two ways. It looks cool out the window, and it looks cool because we've made it that far so far with flight factor.
Except
And
for that
this
little
is the
stack
part
right there.
I do not know what it would look like out the cockpit. It
Look at that little
looks,
stack right there.
it feels, you know, I think they've got the general look, but I don't think it's real there yet. But, and that could be just the way of a default setup, but, and I hate to default to that being my answer all the time. Let's see, Midamerica Airport. Oh, we have an RV. No, we don't have an RV. Visibility a mile and a half now. Huh? Okay. Let's see, a 2988. Okay. There's a reason I'm setting it up like this. I'll explain here as soon as we drop into the 18s. All right, we're at transition level. So our current altimeter at Midamerica is 2988. So we'll set it here. All right, now if you look over here, you'll see altitude disagree on the upper ECAM. I'll bring it out. You can see it right there. Now, to overcome that, first off, let me set this one manually. Now, to overcome that, what that is the altimeter on the other side there of your primary display is at the altimeter setting we were in altitude. Click the set screw right in the upper right hand corner of the altimeter. You saw the disagree go away. And if we zoom in to 988, just in case you can't see it, there it is. It's a nice little way to do it. Others just do it automatically with a setting that says sync them. I like that one over this, but hey, it works. That's all that matters. It works. I don't know. Have you guys been hearing thunder from the
I have
airplane?
not.
I keep hearing something. I haven't even seen lightning. So to hear thunder is kind of weird. All right, I'm going to dial this down a little bit. Okay, so you can see we're going to hit 7,000 probably right before Eichel, and then we'll continue for the arrival. Let's get the frequency set. 111. And our course will be 139. Okay. Common traffic frequency set up for Midamerica. And we're proceeding in. St. Louis ground over at Maine International Airport is up and running. I don't think I turned the seatbelts. There we go.
Does every airport have airspeed restrictions?
No,
Like a certain amount
250 is generally
after 10,000
across the
feet?
board below 10,000. And then depending on the chart, whether you go slower than that. I'll slow up just because I like to be able to stay ahead of my aircraft. But, ooh, that looked pretty cool. Sorry, folks. Looking at some of the clouds. Okay, the spoilers are down, right? Wow, I'm eating a wing. What's going on here? That was bizarre. They're fixed cameras. Wow. Didn't know that. All right. So you can kind of see our approach here. We're going to hit Holds, Eichel, then come up to Dutmy, Troy, VOR, which is actually, I can't set it on this plane. Sorry, I'm thinking totally different plane. But anyway, then we come over to Hetsu. So we're coming down, not really. And then for Troy, what I try to be at is 3,000 and 220, I think is what the chart requires. Oh, it actually doesn't. All right, so we'll come off 228. All right, somewhere out there is the airport. At 1.5 miles, as they said, coming down the ILS, we'll kind of see. All right, so Midamerica should be right out. Y'all can't see my cursor, so somewhere out right about here. And it's not very easy to see right now. This is an interstate that runs right alongside it. Ah, there's the runways. I know it's still pretty hard, but I do have the airport in sight. Okay, so if we were with approach, I could say I have the airport in sight. They may or may not call us for visual approach. But we are going to begin our descent to 3,000. Now, I also set my speed down. So when we descend, the engines will definitely throttle down. We may still gain altitude, but or speed, but we're trying to maintain so that when we level off, we can then bleed off to 210 and then make the turn at Troy to come in. Have I done this before? Many times. Many times on the flight sim. See if we can see the airport as we go by. Okay, brakes set for 2. All right, we are getting ready for the turn. We're about to level off. Like I said, I set for 210. And as we start the turn, I'm going to slow us to 180, put some flaps out. Six miles to Troy, Illinois. Okay, and I'm going to set 2200. Ooh, looks like tornadoes right ahead of us. Out there in the muck is a runway. Okay, continue the approach. Got the runway in sight. All right, well, just for those on YouTube right now, we are currently disconnected from Twitch, trying to get a reconnect, so we can't connect up with VATSIM right now. So they will not get to see this landing.
1,000. Sync rate. Minimums.
Okay, here we go. We're about to land.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Hey, welcome back, Twitch. Just
I
as
saw
we
you lost
touched
the
down.
flight.
Do what?
Did you lose your flight?
No, we lost internet there for a little bit.
Your stream like crashed. And the Discord crashed.
Yeah, for some reason, Spectrum decided they wanted to have fun with the flight and turn off the internet.
That was part of that update in that plane, right? Just shut off the internet.
Yeah. Oh, why am I in reverse thrust? Dang it. Probably did it out of habit. Because this plane does not have reverse. Well, anyway, those of you on Twitch that missed most of that approach that I've hand flew, you're able to catch it on YouTube here once I'm able to upload it. Ah, the internet. What would we do without it? Oh, so much.
Live a better life.
Exactly. I can hear many of the millennials going, no!
A lot of people won't be. A lot of marriages will still be together.
That and bullying would have to go back to out on the school lot instead of cyberbully. It'd be a whole better world. Scary thought people would have to talk to each other face to face.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, sorry, Twitch. I don't have control of the internet. It dropped. And, however, because I do record every flight, even though OBS disconnected from Twitch, I was recording. So hopefully we'll have a decent upload speed and be able to put this up to YouTube pretty quick. Looks like we flew for about an hour and 40 minutes or so. So that was a good flight. And hey, you know what? That looks like that fix, albeit only hot fix or temporary fix, works, which I know to them means, oh, we don't have to worry about it now. Keep the 777 updates going. Yeah, I knew something was up because the voice dropped on VATSIM, and then OBS disconnected, and then VATSIM disconnected. So I knew it was internet related. And we have had a lot of troubles with Spectrum here of late. Again. But when you're the only dog in town, what do you get? Oh, all right. Get over Silver Creek here. Station 3, right off to our left. I mean, somewhat like the real one. Yep. Hawker was here earlier. I'd ask, where do you want me to park this thing? But he's not here. So I will ask Godspeed, where do you want it parked?
Sorry, what?
Where do you want me to park this thing?
Definitely not in the, I mean, probably where the, cargo's usually park, right?
Oh, this is military plane, so I'm going to the military side.
Don't they, like, do, like... Oh, so it's like half international, half
Yeah.
airbase?
The runway we landed on is the longest, but you got a long taxi over to Scott Air Force Base on this taxiway. Scott's right up here.
sorry, I'm playing soccer.
Oh, Lord, I can't interrupt soccer, I know. We had an exchange student once. Funny story. It was the year FIFA, I think, was in Sao Paulo. And he was in it. He had been here almost a year and was just chomping at the bit to get back to his home country. And because they were notorious for winning, because he wanted to celebrate with his friends back home. Well, the funny thing is, he had everything set up until a team from the United States beat Spain. Knocked him out. No reason to go.
What team it was?
So, his reason to go home went bye-bye. But he still, I think, still left.
Do you remember what team it was?
Spain. The U.S.
Well,
knocked off.
The U.S. beat them?
Yeah, the U.S. knocked them off of all things. The team to beat, they beat. Which I always found that was funny. Karma. So. So yeah, he lands in Spain, and well, there is no championship because they've already moved on, and then the U.S. got knocked out next. But anyway, it was just, I died. I was just like, you got what you pretty much were asking for.
Yeah, that's really funny.
It is. So, oh well. The next year we had another exchange student. This girl could speak better English than 99% of America. Unbelievable how well she spoke English. You couldn't even tell she was from another country. So, just amazing. And if she's like that with several languages, I hope she went into some kind of linguistics.
I wonder if her parents were military.
No. And they actually had that, what do we call it? Accent, or, I mean, you could tell they weren't completely English. I mean, brackish, not a brackish, but they were, you could tell it was kind of taken where they're from and English, and it was definitely like night and day with this girl. Her parents, you could tell, were, you know, from out of country. Her, most people thought she was our daughter. Born and raised in the U.S. She was not. She was visiting. And she could talk 99% of the Americans.
Better than half of the population.
99%. This girl was, I mean, perfect. It was easy. With our guy, the gentleman before, yeah, he struggled with English. And I even think with Spanish. But anyway, anyway, she was just, we're like, whoa. Like I said, if she learned a few more languages, she would be really good in the linguingual career fields, especially interpreter. So, don't know what became of her or him. But that, you know, it's just amazing, the difference in peoples.
You get them a lot?
No, we had two. It was fun to do an exchange student. That was fun to learn their side of the world, their particular portion, and them to see our side.
So was that for like about a year or something?
Yeah, a year on both. Well, the first one was a weird setup. He was supposed to go to 3 different families, but they couldn't find a third family to host.
3 families. Why 3?
It's just the way that organization wanted them, I guess, to see it from different points of view. I don't know. I think it was crazy. We asked, do you just want us to have him for 6 months instead of 3 months? And they said, yes, since we can't find anyone. Kind of ticked off the family that had him first, but whatever. But the second one, she was for a full year, which is how I think it should be, in my humble opinion.
So why do they actually do it for like what's the whole point of?
Well, it's to broaden their education. We send them too, so we just couldn't afford our daughters to be in it. So, because you got to pay.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. So.
Huh.
It was, like I said, it was a learning experience on both sides of both sides. So
Did
knowing.
Did she ever speak her language in front of you guys?
A couple times. And since I don't know that language, she may have been screwing it up. I don't know. Pretty sure she wasn't.
When she was really mad at you guys, she would
Actually, no. She was actually very much to herself, which was cool. I mean, each their own. How, everybody's different. That was just a great experience. Highly recommend it to people. Both sides get a lot out of it, the host family and the child. Because now they can actually see how screwed up the U.S. can be. And our kids that go abroad can say the same about their host countries.
Each country has their ups and downs.
That's
Everybody's
right.
like that.
Exactly. All right, we've actually made it to the blocks. Let's throw the APU on to generator. Bleed air's on. All right, we actually made it and it didn't drop. So I will definitely post in the YouTube notes about how this fix works. It's very simple, actually. For those listening to me here on Twitch, go into your flight factor 757, 767, and it may work for the 320 and the 350. Probably the 777's already been updated and we don't have to worry about that one.
Actually, I probably work with all of the flight factors.
That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, go into the 7576 for sure. In your aircraft folder, look for plugins. Open that folder. In there, you're going to find a folder titled TGDS. Phonetically, Tango Golf Delta Sierra. Remove it. Close out of that, fire up the sim, fire up whatever aircraft, 57 or 67, and you should be able to get the flight in just like we did. The part where you missed was because the internet hiccuped here and dropped us. I think OBS was in 12 or 13 by the time it reconnected. It always cycles. So wish I could say we had better internet here, but it is what it is in the sticks. So, but anyway, that was a fun flight. All right, let me get the plug, EFB, ground. Let's go ahead and throw the chocks in for now and bring up the stairs. And kill the beacon. Okay, and I don't think I need to set the trim on this one. No. All right. Okay, and then we'll go over to airplane, open all. And there you have it. Flight. Now, one thing with this version, for the KC46 version that I'm flying, I have, and let me bring it up so you all know what it is, the extended version. In it, you'll get the 767-300ER. I don't know if you get the freighter, and I don't know if you get the 200ER. I got the extended to make sure I got the 300ER freighter, 200ER, 200SF, Sierra Fox. That is what this aircraft is worked off of. The convertible cargo plane, meaning at one time it would, in the real life, it would have been a passenger plane, even though that's not how the real one is. But anyway, so be it. And then you can find this on the internet. There's like 12 liveries in the pack. Really, really good. Again, only, man, would it be better if we had the boom in the back. But we don't, so. But it's still a great airplane. And it's nice that we have a good fix from Flight Factor. So I hope you enjoyed what we did. We had a good flight through the storms from Nashville on in here. Let y'all see the other side. But like I said, it would be nice if the boom was there, but the paint job's there to help pilots line up, and the lights and all that would be needed. So I'm going to just stay outside. Why not? Okay. So let's talk. There it goes. Being stubborn like always with Sim Air Force. All right, so let me take a look at Sim Air Force here real quick, see how we did. All right, so the ACAR program recorded our landing at 313 feet a minute, which is great. And it was been accepted already. Awesome. All right. Now, let's bring in Elevatech. Let's see how this tracking tool took us. Ooh, that looks wicked, getting ready to attack Nashville. and what just went through Nashville. Well, it looks like a little wickedness up in Ohio, too. Alrighty, here we go. 315 feet a minute, 134 knots. Great landing, in my opinion. But that's all you get. You don't get any other information to go on, which to me, that part of the story is sad. But to each their own. Some don't want to know. I, on the other hand, do. And that's why I have Sim Toolkit and prefer Sim Toolkit.
Be right back.
Okay. Okay, folks, so here's our flight. Now let's look at the details real quick. Here's the route we flew. Now, these are the same details we just got from Elevatech. Not a lot of information here. 2-hour flight, 572 miles, 7,200 kilograms, 1.3. Granted, they were nicer to us than them. In the feet per minute and that. But here's where this excels. Full landing report. Oh, we actually landed a little short, which is good. I like to know that. We were 938 feet down the runway when we touched down, just shy of 3 feet off the center line. That is what we want to do. Except maybe push this green dot up into here or slightly ahead. But overall, I'll take it. We're in the landing zone. That's all that matters. We'll explain the landing zone in a minute. Pitch 2.2, good. Roll, slight roll to get us on that center line. And again, 134, 243. This is what I look at to figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? And then fix from here. Mentioned the landing zone. You can actually find it on a precision runway real easy. Precision being a precision approach, ILS. I don't know if the RNPs, if that's all they have, will do the same markings or not, but for sure, this one. So you have your threshold, where the blue dot is. Granted, the blue dot's not there in real life. But anyway, where the stripes are back here. Each hash down the runway is 500 feet. So obviously you're in the 1,000-foot range with these. Continuing on down. Where these hash marks end, in this case right here, zoom out a little bit, on this runway, that is technically where you want to have the airplane on the ground by. Now, it's 10,000 feet. Now, with this plane, no reverse thrust. If you're not on the ground, I bet you're going to be doing you're just going to go, because now the brakes are doing a lot more to get you stopped by the end. We were set at level 2, just to let you know, and I have some, and instinctively I think I just put the reverse thrust on, or maybe it comes on automatic, I don't know. But we got off here, when usually they'll just roll out to the end, taxi back, or here. So, hey, that was, again, just kind of orientating you. I know a lot about this airport. I've worked a lot out at that airport. So, anyway, so back to our plane here. We are going to go ahead, head on out. I really do hope you have a great rest of your Friday. This weekend you got May the 4th be with you. I know a lot of you are going to be binging Star Wars. Some of you are going to be binging the bars for Cinco de Mayo. Be safe, folks. Enjoy the weekend. We're going to hopefully put a flight in the air Sunday. No promises. I keep that day pretty open for family. Monday, we will definitely try to put a flight in the air. But again, I don't know what kind of schedule I have. And then it's back to work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, but thank you all for joining us. Sorry for that internet glitch. I can't control them. I wish I could, but I can't. So I hope you all enjoy. And like I say, if you ever do miss anything on Flying with Mike, please check us out over here at YouTube. I'm putting it up in the chat. But you can go over and check out this. Anything in this flight you missed, you would have seen the whole landing or past videos. You never know. There may be something to interest you, from bush flying in Alaska to heavy cargo flying or some air forcing. You can always check us out on YouTube. So for now, if you're interested in Sim Air Force, hey, we'd love to have you as a pilot here. Again, working under the structure of a virtual special operations group for VATSIM. First off means you got to fly on VATSIM. So if you don't like VATSIM, we're probably not the best place to be at. But that's the whole reason for existing, is so we can do what we do on VATSIM and not get in trouble for it. That is flying formation. That is air refueling, air combat, ground supports, cargo drops, bombing, anything that the military could do. We are trained a little bit to make sure, one, you can fly formations well, two, you can learn the art of air refueling, both as the tanker or the receiving aircraft, and you can learn some of the idiosyncrasies of fighter flying, bomber flying, cargo flying. Cargo flying's not really all that hard. You do it if you're with a cargo carrier. However, when it comes to the drops, it gets a little, that's when it gets a little dicey. But by being with a virtual special ops group, you're able to do these things in restricted areas. For instance, where red flag's flown, Alaska red flag, and controllers know it because you put it in your remarks, what you're going to do. So check us out over here at Sim Air Force. I'm going to put it up here real quick. icrew.simairforce.com. We'd love to have you as a pilot. Doesn't take much to get trained up, unless you really want to dive in like the real pilots do. We do have IPT, initial pilot training. We have advanced pilot training, and that's going to take you into the weeds of military life. Not like it is in the real world, but like it is in the sim world. So check us out, will you? All right. So with that, we are going to call it a day. I have grandkids due here in an hour or two, so I don't want to be flight simming and miss out because I got to work tomorrow. So, folks, you all, again, have a spectacular weekend. Be safe. Hopefully dry if you're here in the middle of the country of the U.S., but, that no control over. So enjoy. We'll see you again next flight, and God bless. We'll see you then. Actually, to answer your questions, we can. We do an air show up in Abbotsford, I think, every year, and that should be coming up May, June, sometime this month or next, where you can fly formation and do tricks and all that good stuff up there.